reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on.
Yes, it's time for me to say good night and goodbye to my brother Chico, who had you all under a leash, a musical leash, all afternoon. Chico, hope all things are well with you, my brother. I listen to you and you're still good on your musical selections. It's time for me, my Straight Dog family, to say good night to St. Kitts and Nevis, good night to the entire Caribbean region, and to those in the Kittitian and Nevisian diaspora who are logged on to zizonline.com. There's some of you are in Africa. There are some of you in Asia. There are some of you in Europe. And there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I'm at liberty as well to say good morning, and surely I can say good afternoon, because one of such greetings would be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. You are all exposed and some protected and more protected than others, but we are all under the COVID experience still. Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let's, in the process, my Straight Talk family, continue to keep St. Kitts and Nevis as one of the freest countries in the entire world. On this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation, my Straight Talk family, on yet another occasion. And if you're joining me for the first time, I always like to inform you that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls, we include your emails, and for those of you who are so minded to call, you can access the program via one of these numbers. Locally, 869-465-2555, and or internationally, 718-577-2916. There are those who just like the cloak of anonymity, so I provide access via our email platform, which is zizstraightttalk@gmail.com. That's one word, zizstraightttalk, all of the lowercase, at gmail.com. So I want to welcome you if you're a first timer, and don't forget to tell your friends about it, and I trust and hope it won't be your last time. There are those who enjoy viewing the program, and we provide you that access as well via our Facebook platform as well as our YouTube platform. For the YouTube fans, I know some of you like to just lie or sit someplace and turn your TV on. If you have a smart TV on YouTube, you can view the program as well via YouTube and or Facebook. YouTube, all you have to do is to just type in Straight Talk with Ian Patches Liburd, and you are right there. My Straight Talk family, tonight I want to discuss, with your indulgence of course, a topic that should be of interest to all of us. that topic I call food security. I believe that we will all agree that all of us need food to survive. How many of you agree with that? How many of you agree that all of us need food to survive? It is a fact. It is a fact that from the very beginning of life, now 1 million, or millions I should say, or billion, or a billion years ago, the organisms needed food. The organisms needed food to live. Yes, individual plants, animals, human beings, all need food to live, and that is a fact of life. It would have been virtually impossible for those living things to grow, develop, and evolve without anything to eat. Whether it is a plant or an animal, every living thing needs nourishment, my straight dog family. Every living thing needs nourishment in order to continue the cycle of life, my straight dog family. As I said, every living thing needs nourishment in order to continue the cycle of life. It will not grow, it will not reproduce or survive without food. Food security, therefore, is critical to our very existence. Even in the Bible, my straight dog family, even in the Bible, food security is promoted. Food security is promoted in the good book, my straight dog family. Because God cares about people going hungry. In the book of John, chapter 6 and verse 35, Jesus declared, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry. Whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. And I can testify to that. And many of us, I'm sure, can testify to that as well. The Bible scholars will point us to the book of Genesis, though. And in chapter 2 and verse 16, it tells us of God's instruction to Adam that he may eat of any tree, barring one tree, of course, a straight dog family. And Genesis 2 verses 16 to 17, and I like the English Standard Version, which reads in verse 16, and the Lord commanded the man, saying, you may surely eat of every tree of the garden, and, verse 17, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. So yes, it was greed that led Adam and Eve to want more than their fair share. And more than ever, that story of their fall reflects humankind's desire to be more like God and own a greater share than is possible. If we want to get academic, then my straight dog family, at the World Food Summit in 1996, the Food and Agricultural Organization, the FAO, defined food security as a condition where all people at all times, my straight dog family, have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food to meet their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. And that definition can be found in the final report of that summit. And that is still the standard definition of the United Nations Committee on World Food Security. Simply put, my stray dog family, food security is a measure of the availability of food and the ability of individuals to access this food. Hunger, believe it or not, is still a world problem, my stray dog family. Hunger is still a world problem, my stray dog family.
I am quite concerned about the pig industry. Some time ago, we had a thriving pig industry. Most of you would know that any barbecue pit you go by, you get a lot of pork and so on there. And in the market, the pork was quite presentable from the abattoir.
Let me take that back, my stray dog family. Hunger, as I said, is still a world problem. And I agree with this assessment here.
If you look at the world now, in 2000, they had about 800 million men, women, and children who were going to sleep hungry. And the FAO, through the World Food Program, wanted to reduce that as much as possible during that millennium. And it went down quite a bit. And by 2017, 2019, it was down to 679 million. And that is still a tremendous number.
And local farmer Winston Morris is so right. I would say the former teacher did his homework, because after decades of steady decline, the number of people who suffer from hunger, as measured by the prevalence of undernourishment, began to slowly increase again in 2015. And according to the World Food Program, which he cited, current estimates show that nearly 690 million people are hungry, or 8.9% of the world's population. And that's up by 10 million people in 1 year and by nearly 60 million in 5 years. The world is not on track to achieve zero hunger by 2030. And it is surmised that if recent trends continue, the number of people affected by hunger would surpass 840 million by the year 2030. According to the World Food Program, 135 million suffer from acute hunger, largely due to man-made conflicts, climate change, and economic downturns. The COVID-19 pandemic could now double that number, putting an additional 130 million people at risk of suffering acute hunger by the end of this year, my street dog family. With more than 250 million people potentially at the brink of starvation, swift action needs to be taken to provide food and humanitarian relief to the most at-risk regions. At the same time, a profound change of the global food and agricultural system is needed if we are to nourish the more than 690 million people who are hungry today, and the additional 2 billion people the world will have by 2050 if things don't drastically change. Increasing agricultural productivity and sustainable food production are therefore crucial to help alleviate the perils of hunger. The majority of the world is undernourished. 381 million are still found in Asia. More than 250 million live in Africa, with the number of undernourished is growing faster than anywhere in the world. In 2019, close to 750 million, or nearly 1 in 10 people in the world, were exposed to severe levels of food insecurity. It could be argued, my Street Dog family, that while the issue of food security is a global concern, Caribbean peoples and governments are just now fully grasping its significance for the region. And I believe that COVID-19 has further amplified that situation. In the CARICOM region, only Belize and Guyana are currently net exporters of food, and the gap between food imports and agricultural exports for other territories is over 60%, and sad to say, over 80% for Antigua and Barbuda and St. Kitts and Nevis, according to Deep Ford and Rollins in 2007 in their Introduction to Trade and Trade Policy, my Straight Dog family. There's a global mandate and established commitment to achieving the Millennium Development Goals, the MDGs, especially Millennium Development Goal number 1, that is to eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. Trade is widely accepted to be an engine of growth, and trade expansion is promoted as one way to increase development and reduce poverty. But there's a wide controversy in my Straight Dog family over what trade policy should be pursued under different conditions to achieve the goals related to increased development. Continuing efforts to liberalize global trade through fora such as the World Trade Organization, the WTO, African, Caribbean, and Pacific Economic Partnership negotiations with the European Union, and the myriad of regional trade agreements under negotiations. With the exception of perhaps Haiti, however, the sensationalized and dramatic incidents of food shortages and hunger, seen especially in parts of Asia and sub-Saharan Africa, is absent from the Caribbean. And food security, I may add, is determined by local production, agro-processing, food aid, food trade, and food reserves or stockpiles. We have already seen that local production in the Caribbean has declined significantly, my Straight Dog family, over the past 2 or 3 decades. And the CARICOM countries as a whole have become, as I said before, net importers instead of net exporters of food. The region is now very heavily dependent on food imports to meet its food needs, and that includes St. Kitts and Nevis. In an article in the Jamaica Observer under the caption, "Importing food is damaging the Caribbean, why no action?" Ron Sanders wrote, and I quote, "It is shameful that golden opportunities to produce more food in the Caribbean and significantly reduce the astronomically high annual food import bill of $4.7 billion are being woefully neglected. If this misguided trend continues," he went on, "the economies of many of the countries of the region will be increasingly imperiled." In St. Kitts and Nevis, we had a total export of some $33,240,000. That's US dollars. And total imports of near $309 million, my Straight Dog family, leading to a negative trade balance of nearly $280 million, and that's US dollars, my Straight Dog family. That's not good. The trade imbalance is only partly offset by our tourism and other service revenues. But most troubling is a large food import bill, much of which is due to foodstuffs imported for the tourist sector or tourism sector, but which also suggests that the islands, including ourselves, are dependent on imports for basic nutritional requirements. And that's coming from the World Integrated Trade Solution, WITS, which is a part of the World Bank. Food security in the Caribbean, my street dog family, requires the revitalization of sustainable local food production systems. And you know what I said, the Caribbean, but surely that includes St. Kitts and Nevis. What about us, my street dog family? Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we are not looking good, I may add, my street dog family. We are not looking good at all.
Bayford's, we dub it Bayford's Livestock Center of Excellence. This project aims to promote food security by increasing small ruminant, beef, and pig production through the implementation of modern and sustainable techniques, with the view to significantly reduce the gap between imported and locally produced meat. The gap is huge. On average, we produce about 20% of the meat consumption. Our aim is to achieve between 40 to 45% of our domestic consumption of meat. This, we feel, will bring an acceptable economic balance for our farmers.
%20 of the meat we consume, we produce. That's all, my street dog family. You know, the issue of food security, or the lack thereof, has been magnified by the COVID-19 pandemic. And we know as well that the Team Unity government continues to make substantial investment in the agriculture and fisheries industry, my straight dog family.
We certainly have invested significant sums over the last couple of months, assisting our farmers and fishers in particular. We have provided free fencing wire, free seeds, free seedlings, harrowed the farmlands of farmers, and we have provided additional over 40 acres of land to new farmers to assist in our food security initiative. Our fisher folks have also been the beneficiary of our support. Some 203 of them benefited from investment in fishing wire, in hooks, and a whole range of necessaries to assist them in their fishing activity. We have spent about $2 million in the fisheries sector so far. So that has been a substantial contribution that we have made to lift agriculture and to have it play a more significant role in our economic life.
But how do we address these risks, my straight dog family? It's one of the questions I'll ask tonight. At the CARICOM level, we have agreed to expand the categories of skilled workers who are free to move within the Caribbean single market and economy space. And this expansion will now include agricultural workers, security guards, beauticians, and barbers. And these, to some, may seem to be positive developments for our people and matters that have been championed by some for a long time now, my street dog family. Some like the Prime Minister of Barbados.
The second major item that we agreed to recommend to heads of government is the question of expanding the categories of workers who may travel freely within the region. Right now there are 10 categories, and we've agreed to recommend an 11th category of agricultural workers, primarily because we recognize the importance of being able to attain food security across the region, particularly in these difficult and turbulent times, and coming as we did last year after the realization of what the climate can do, what hurricanes can do, and now we see earthquakes to disrupt the whole production and distribution cycle. And we're conscious and sensitive to the fact that we have to be able to move the region closer to a level of food security in ways that we've not perhaps been as assiduous about doing in recent times.
At the domestic or local level, we in St. Kitts Nevis, to address some of the issues of food security and reduce poverty, we have introduced social protection programs like the Poverty Alleviation Program, PAP, that's so well received by so many people. We keep global food trade going by maintaining our links with the USA. Hadn't it been for the tropical vessels and other vessels that come on a weekly basis, Crowley and other vessels that come on a weekly basis, and that vessel for hospital, I always forget its name, the line. On a regular basis, we maintained our food supply even when we had that shutdown last year. We support small farmers' ability to increase food production. There's a $50 million stimulus. But are these measures adequate? Some may ask, my straight dog family. And the questions I want to pose tonight as we look at food security and how do we deal with it. And several questions. One, do you believe we can ever become self-sufficient in the food we need in St. Kitts and Nevis? Two, how can we move to producing more food, my straight dog family? Recall, long ago, we exported peanuts, pineapples, and other crops, my straight dog family. How can we return to those days, or can we? I listened to a caller to Leadership Matters just a few nights ago who said this, my straight dog family, and it made me sit up and start thinking again.
I am in the United States, and I know St. Kitts land because we all grew up in farming. I'm a farmer by force, and now it's in my DNA. I'm living in a concrete jungle, so I can't do that. But I don't see any imports from St. Kitts here. I'm seeing from Dominica, I'm seeing from Africa, Haiti, other surrounding islands. We have the best land in the Caribbean. I need the farmers to get help where their food can export to countries, because Jamaica does it, Haiti does it, Africa does it, and we have good land too. I'm looking at breadfruit here. Breadfruit is something that we all crave for here, and the kind of breadfruit that we will get coming from different countries, they're nowhere near our breadfruit, and they cost so much. Everything come out of St. Kitts is all nutritious, natural, and could be profitable should there a proactive person market for the farmers of St. Kitts.
Yes, my straight dog family. You can think about the breadfruit, and he's right. Is he right about the breadfruit? Can we plant enough breadfruit for export? You buy a breadfruit, you wonder why on earth or where they got this breadfruit from. They picked it young, or it's too young, and it don't even last. But can we plant enough breadfruit for export? That's something I ponder about my straight dog family. What about pork production, my straight dog family? What about pork production? Once ago, every farmer had pigs. We had that industry gone. my straight dog family.
I'm quite concerned about the pig industry. Some time ago, we had a thriving pig industry. Most of you would know. At any barbecue pit you go by, you get a lot of pork and so on there. And in the market, the pork was quite presentable from the abattoir, the government abattoir. And when I used to teach, I always carried my students, my fifth form students, to the abattoir to see what they were doing. And in a week, when they butchered 10 cattle, they would be butchering over 200, 300 pigs. Today, I don't think that is the numbers now, because some of the pig farmers are gone out of business because of some of the things on the market. Cheaper pork come on the market, and so farmers can't compete.
Where has the pork gone, Jasmine? Where has the pork gone, my straight dog family? Why has it become extinct? Growing up, everybody had pigs. It was one of the easiest animals to raise, except they used to raise them back then, recall, in the mud. Now it have to be concreted so you can wash the pens down and so on. What about the big elephant in the room, though, my straight dog family? The big elephant in the room is called water. And the chief veterinarian, Chief Vet Dr. Tracy Challenger, spoke to that problem for animal farmers. The problem is water, my straight dog family. How do we get water to the farmers, my straight dog family?
In regards to water, water has always been a major problem for livestock production. And in addressing that problem, water was installed with the facilitation from the Department of Agriculture. Water was installed on most pig farms. And the farmers receive a special water rate. In addition, 4 water dams were constructed on 4 cattle farms, 2 of which are operational.
My straight dog family, the ECO or AICO representative Sharon Jones put it in a very interesting way. She spoke to the predictiveness of water, my straight dog family. The predictiveness of water, my straight dog family. And this is what she said about the planning.
We are looking at strengthening the foundation for climate responsiveness in the agricultural sector. Also, we have been doing a lot of work with the Department of Agriculture, both in St. Kitts and Nevis and the ministry, on another climate change project where we're looking at water security. What we have seen in St. Kitts and Nevis is that the rainy season, as you will remember, started quite late last year. So the rains really came towards October, November, December, and then right into the beginning of this year. So the predictiveness of rainfall is not as it was. There is some variability throughout the years. And what this does to farmers is, as you know, is that they are not able to now foresee, and they now can't go into production as much as they would like to.
These are some of the issues, just some, my straight dog family, I want to raise tonight, my straight dog family. These are some of the issues I want us to discuss as it relates to food security. Growing up, think back, we raised chicken or poultry or hens, cock and hens, or we used to call them our yard fowls, that laid the eggs we ate. We raised ducks. We grew up in our backyard gardening days, planting peppers, lettuce, and tomatoes, herbs, as we say, herbs, as we still say today. What went wrong that has caused us to import everything we need to eat? We can't eat a banana if the sea gets rough and those boats don't come from Dominica or St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Don't know if they'll come anytime now from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. What can be done? If anything can be done to resolve or to reverse this current situation. What about the younger generation? Meaning our kids, your kids and my kids. We buy them the fast foods, the Kentucky, the Bob's. And I love Bob's because I like his mango flavor and his wings. But these are just some of the issues that relate to our food security, my Straight Talk family, here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And something has to be done, I'll conclude here, if we are going to prepare for the future generation, especially in this era of climate change. We must build resilience in water and other sectors if we are going to build resilience in agriculture. Those are my thoughts tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I will now solicit your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Tell me. I'm going to open the lines and entertain your calls and entertain your emails. And when I do so, and I'll do so in a few seconds, I anticipate that you will respect others, and of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us be fair to all concerned, and let us build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and or doing those things, my Straight Talk family, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. The numbers again are 465-2555 and our 718-577-2916. Open the lines now and hear your thoughts, my Straight Talk family, as we strive to come or get self-sufficiency in the food we need in St. Kitts and Nevis. At 8:42, we go to the lines. Call out your live. Hello, caller.
Yes, I'm here. I'm just listening to Patches. Good night.
Just
Good night, Brother Patches.
Good night, sir.
Brother Patches, once again,
Yes,
it's nice to be speaking on your program. I was just in time when you had an instant replay. Oh, sorry. Give me a minute. I was just in time when you had an instant replay. Oh, sorry. I was just in time when you had an instant replay of my past commentary about the breadfruit. And I am here again. I'm the same person again. I look at myself as a thinker and a visionary in respect to food security in St. Kitts. Yes, it can be done. And how it can be done? We used to do it before. But where that brilliant idea has gone, yes, the young people, they are not interested in farming. They anticipate when they open their mouth to say, I need this, I need that, it will just appear. But it comes with work. We got to till the land, go back to tilling the land, plant the good stuff that we used to have. And look at the old generation. We are stronger, we build better, we are more immune versus these food that people import. Like I said again, we have the best land in the Caribbean, and why not use it? Okay? Another issue. The sugarcane land has been sold for habitation. People occupy these lands, and they are not planted. Look at how much land are in grass. Look at how much people have not paid off for their land. The land is just there, useless. Something have to be done. I think there should be force. If the land does not have a house erected on it and what it was deemed to be, some kind of measure have to be taken. I mean, everybody need land. I'm not depriving anyone out of a piece of land. But what is the use of the land? Just to grow grass and nothing? All right, let me strike that one. Let me go to the water security. Look, even though water is not frequent, rain, so to speak, okay? Now, take into consideration when there are numerous of rain showers. They run in the guts, they go down to the sea. Why not have dams that can catch some and save it for a later date? Because when rain falls, the water goes, the rain disappears. Then when summer comes, there is no reserve. We're crying for water. Why not save what you could save for a rainy day, and that will be an offset to what is the norm. The unnorm is when a rain shower comes. Rain does not fall every day. And I think there could be water security if brilliant minds put their mind to this thing. Okay? It is expensive to drill, but it's not expensive to build a dam to catch water. It's just like you get a bucket, you go to the pipe, you catch your water, you take it home. And that was before people had pipes and all those things in their house. So, yes, food security can be done. And water security can be done. But you see, people don't use their head. They're not trying to be wise. They are fools. And my saying, willful waste is woeful want. When you need the water, you cry. When it's gone, you cry. Take it when you could get it. Utilize the scarcity of water. Build dams. Build dams, build dams. That is an additional security for water. And water could distribute everywhere. Okay? So, I will leave that for somebody. I will leave the commentary for somebody else to come on. But, like I said, I'm a fast thinker. I'm a brilliant thinker. And I think for St. Kitts and Nevis. Because I foresee things. Thank you, Patches. You look good, though.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you as well.
Mr. Patches.
Sound thinker. Let's go back to the lines. My straight on Pammy, 13 before 9, you're live.
Yes, Patches. This is my first call, I believe, for a long time. Your friend don't challenge us, man.
Good. How are you, my brother? How are you?
Well, I'm here. I had my first shot before last month. I'm gearing up for the next one next month. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. You're protecting yourself.
Yes, man. I got to do that. I've seen the good things that vaccinations have done over many years. And we used to have these lot of whooping cough and measles, etc., etc. And anyway, but I want to talk something about the topic you're on. Now, the last caller made some points, but these things are only wishful thinking here. You see, I do not believe we would ever reach a point where we would be self-sufficient in food production. You see, over the many years, because of development, our expectations have grown so tremendously that we not going to do some things easily. Plus, our land, as fertile as it is, I don't think we could produce all the food that we want. The only country in the Caribbean region is self-sufficient is Dominican Republic. You could resource that. And plus they have other things like mineral deposits, etc., etc. But
Belize as well.
Belize there, but sometimes we don't even see Belize as Caribbean. And Guyana there with all that land and Paris and so, but underdeveloped and so forth. But they can't compete with the United States and Mexico. No, the Caribbean is close to United States and Canada. So it's easy to transport food from North America, North and Central America, to the Caribbean. But then recently I realized we're getting things like avocado from as far as Peru. Now, transportation plays a key role. And in the Caribbean, it costs more to transport goods and everything else than, say, from North America to the Caribbean. Now, I believe that our produce, food produce, I believe it's more healthy than, say, North America, where they do a lot of spraying and all that. But when you stand in Florida, and as far as your eyes could see, you see one row of rows of oranges or avocado or whatever. I mean, we don't have that. Now, Kititians are kind of docile people in terms of carrying their culture other places. Jamaicans are very, very active with that. They're very aggressive. They take the culture anywhere they go. But Kititians don't do that. In respect to the breadfruit, Jamaicans send breadfruit all over the place. And so forth. So we are far from that, and I don't see us ever reaching there. Because we want land for... Plus, let me say this, because I believe this is one of our biggest problems. We could do better with food production in St. Kitts, but we are not properly organized. And I believe the agricultural people who represent in government, I think they allow the farmers to do what they want in many instances. All over the island don't produce everything alike. When they had cane, they only plant certain kind of cane in certain areas, whether up high elevation or low elevation, or depending on the soil. So this is something I believe we got to look at. But there's a lot of things to talk about food production and agriculture. We still want housing. They're taking up a lot of land, and they're utilizing the housing in a way, like to say, two-story buildings and so forth, just like they do in the UK and so forth. We're spreading out too much, so we're taking up more land. So we're decreasing the amount of land that might be available for agriculture and other things. So I'm going to say this for now, because there's a lot of things could be said. But that's going to take more than your program. So have a good night, Mr. Patches, and we go to your voice, man. Yeah. I've been listening to you all along.
My dear brother.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks a lot, brother, from down Challengers. And you said so much, some sound words, some sound in terms of, as you said, the wishful thinking. And I like the idea about going up in the air, using the space in the air instead of taking up all the land for housing. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
Patches, good night to Ambassador Ian Patches Liburd. Good night. How are you, brother?
Good night, my dear brother. Politics. You are the farmer in the house.
Yeah, Patches, yes. And you know that I like your opening statement, and that is so good.
Thank you.
Food security in the nation, that is important. Patches, sometime last week, I think it was last week Tuesday, I missed one of my bull cattle. You know, I look all around the area and the estate where I live, I see it. And I decided to take a walk from West Warm to Buckley's. Sunday morning, holy. And I went up to Beacon Heights, went up to Alawi's Mountain, went all over Patches, went all over. I ain't find it, Patches, I ain't find it. It got to be somebody gone with it. But I ain't really talking about that now to things, eh? I talking now the amount of land I see there rest down. No farming, just maybe a few animals on it, maybe a few steak put up, maybe some bone put up there, some bone put up there, gone right up to Buckley's Mountain, gone out to Shadwell, and all these land was in sugar cane. These land, where we used to plant, when estate get ready to rest the land, they give the land to plant sweet potato and yam. All these land, I done did some big sweet potato from big yam, Tanya Dashin and all those land. Plus have Patches. Some of these land could have give out to sugar workers to farm. And then we would not have so much problem with this pandemic in right now. Up to today, I was talking to a taxi driver, and he was saying that if the government sent $60 million, I mean $100 million. So I mean $7 million to St. Vincent, and taxi driver they will want help, will want money, will want this and will want that. I said, boy, let me tell you something. No, I don't know to go back to basic. All the time, mother, father, brother, sister, or whosoever, come out of the soil. Why I expect to go back into the soil? Why right now into the soil maybe? But it's every weekend at that time with sweet potato. I got sweet potato here by me who I'm now selling. Where do you think they come from? They come from in the sea? They come from in the soil. And people buying, even if you know the price. Because sweet potato is very plentiful right now. And these are the things that we people come like, we get proud now. They don't want to go back to where they come from. And nothing which reflect the soil. But I think it was last week, Monday, I was in town with a bag of sweet potato. And I was there by a bar, one of them boat there, with the bag and the scale. Because in the market are going slow. And a lady come down, Mr. Politics, that you come to know, you sell sweet potato. Lord, when you come to know and you have big unity, and I sell sweet potato. Patches, he got 2 hours ago, I was there. She said, wait, what happened to she? She had the window. Patches, this is how our people think. This is how our people think, Patches. We got to go back to basic. And listen up, to go back to basic is the best way in life for us. We don't know how this pandemic going to reign. You understand? And we got to learn to work with one another, work with each other. And stop with foolishness. And put on the charitable politics. And we work as one. The Guyanese, the Jamaican, the Spanish, everybody coming in this country and doing well. Especially the Guyanese that is in the farming. Because in general where they come from, in the soil they come from. In Nevis, in Sinkets. Sometimes we want okra, we can't get okra. In town, where do you think we go to? And the Guyanese, them, we got the supermarket down there. The Guyanese, them always got okra. I don't know what they got them thing. In military, the Guyanese, them got okra. Because anytime I cook, I put okra in my pot. I just how well I go down cook. But you don't see a bang in a little vodka with some orange juice because I got a thing to clean up my throat. And just enjoy myself after night, you know. So Patrick, you have a wonderful night. God bless St. Nevis, the Federation. And God bless those in the diaspora with this corona, a plague in the world. And I hope very soon it will over and everything go back to normalcy. Patrick, God bless you, brother.
God bless you as well, my brother. I trust you to find your bull. Right? And you're so correct, the people. Let's go back to the lines, Mr. Dr. Palmer. And as you mentioned Guyana, though, right? I believe I stand to be corrected that Ghana as well is a net exporter of food in terms of what they import and what they export. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Yes. Good evening, Patrick. I'm still waiting on the barrel. Anyway, my children's father, brother man Dr. Choggins, was the best farmer because we farmers them here used to plant just put seed potatoes and dashing. But he come from England and he does the real farming, carrots and everything in the roads them and so. I know to do farming, but a lot of people who you got saying with farming, they ain't no real farmer. Because that gentleman who live from Basque High School, he is the head of the agriculture. When I look at Winston Morris, what's supposed to be the head of agriculture? So you can't just come out a backyard and be an agriculture. You got to in it to win it. And plus of it, I'm looking at the Basque High School, I want to know what you're going to do. Because our children need to educate ourselves too. And plus of it, looking at these people who saying that they win. We want a Basque High School. all the muck you all, even Bastia High School, lot of them got this big work, and some of them are ball, like Marby, poor up. And you have a blessed night, and I don't care when nobody say when the blues back. See you.
Have yourself a blessed night as well. You wonder how she jumped from farming to Basti High School. Well, that's what Trade Talk is all about. Now let's go back to the Lions caller. You are live.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most celebrable Marcus Messiah, Garvey, and Queen Enzing. Yeah, blessed evening, my beloved African. But how are you, the family?
Greetings from New York, my brother. We are wonderful. You and your family?
Good, man. Good. I'm good, man. And the clan is good. Now, beloved, we couldn't come self-sufficient for the food security, water security, and I'm going to break it down. Everyone know I'm not a fan of Robert Bradshaw, but you got to give a person the dashiki, beloved brother. Look, in the 70s, under Bradshaw, agriculture, man, was a revolution in agriculture under Bradshaw. But from since Bradshaw, all the other administration, them, fail miserably, beloved. And brother, you know, we come forward, even before this administration take governance, I been there. Morning, noon, and night, beloved, talking about food security in agriculture. And when this administration take governance, I said, and you could be my witness, beloved, because I said it on your program umpteen times. If the planes and the ships stop coming up, people in St. is going to starve to death. And I'm not just saying this because COVID came. I've been saying that for years before COVID, brother. But you see, our people, a lot of our people, brother, got this mentality from since, our liberation from the chains and shackles, brother. That, agriculture this and agriculture that, and if you go into agriculture, that's backwardness, brother. That's the stigma from generation to generation, and the thing is still in our people head. And come up now, brother. A lot of our people believe, if you stop eating yam, dasheen, cucumber and cabbages and lettuce and, the great stuff, beloved brother. Oh, that's backward. No, you got to get things from your U.S. or Canada or England, so-called well-packaged, frozen or in a can. Oh, that's upward mobility. Total nonsense. All the killing those who eat that kind of food and putting a great burden on the country, beloved. Because when people get sick, diabetes, you could get diabetes in 3 different ways. Bad diet, heredity, and, your lifestyle, beloved. Consumption of alcohol and drugs and other things, beloved. So, beloved, you know amount of money will the government, the people think it's a Nevis will save from the health thing, man, if most of our people eat healthy. But they go a long way, long way. But we must plant what we eat and eat what we grow, beloved. They got more than enough land. Look at the land when my agents tell me, brother, if you know amount of land and occupy, nothing and just grass around a while, beloved. Put all those land under cultivation and stop use arable land who build houses and other nonsense. That must stop. And they must get people with vision in the Ministry of Agriculture and the Department of Agriculture. And now this minister, President Minister of Agriculture, doing a good job. But Cabinet, and I keep saying that, Cabinet must allocate more money for agriculture. And the brothers and sisters them who is serious about agriculture must get help and must farm themselves into cooperative, and they must have markets supermarkets must buy their produce. The hoteliers, all of that being an agreement that you must buy from our, I don't like to say local, our national farmers in St. You must buy the produce while it's available. Brother, and a lot of water, like the brother said, the first caller, that will be coming down in all of those guts. Why not harness the water and build catchments all over the country and think that water treated, build catchments on the farms, the large farms, brother. So the brothers and sisters, the farmers, farmers, have water there right on the farm, put it like, even they got to use generators to pump the water and everything. Brother, fence it out, the monkey problem, the monkeys, we must curb the monkey population. I don't know why our people are afraid of these people. They control St. Kitts and Nevis. We must chart our destiny, not no outsiders. We must do that, beloved brother. And moving forward, every house in St. Kitts and Nevis, moving forward, brother, it must get assistance, whether underneath or to the side. I will prefer to the side because if a lot of rain come and you got assistance underneath you, I seen that in St. Thomas, you could be flooded out. So build assistance to the side. That should be mandatory. Every building, whether it's residential or commercial, must have a system, brother. It got to be visionary. What these girls and boys go to use colleges and universities for? For nonsense? Come on. If I could know that, and they say they're bright, and they're intelligent and all kind of nonsense, how come they can't think and they get all of these money? Me ain't got nobody, you know. Because I work for what they need, beloved. So, brother, if we just do the right thing, man, and just get together, be serious. The administration got to be serious about agriculture. Farmers must be serious, must be subsidized too. And I've been saying that, beloved. How you think up here with all these farmers? Just get subsidized by the U.S. government, our tax money. Why that can't be done in St. Kitts and Nevis? Not the same model like up here. Our model, beloved. So, brother, we must be visionary, beloved, in everything we do. But I know someone else wants to speak. Pan-Africanism or Perch. One love, my beloved brother. You saying something?
No, that's good. That's good. Just was prompting you to say what you just said. You're never out of words, so I have to listen up for you. But thanks for your input, my brother.
Yeah, you too, brother. You too, brother. One love, man.
Okay. One love, my brother. That's the Rastaman, Nabu, always advocating for spending more money in agriculture. Obviously, he's of the view we can be self-sufficient in the food we eat. Let's go back to the lines. A caller.
Yes. Good evening, Pat. It's me again. Cardi and Aika used to do the farming, but I know Aika, what they were named, the money. So I want the farmers them to get the money and get the farming thing going. Which when father dead, so me not get the money who won he farm. But I got a piece of land here, 4,080 square foot, and I'm going to put a little farming thing in the dirt, called custom to the dirt. Being pulled from the dirt. And plus of it.
So what you going to plant?
What I going to plant? I going to plant melon and so. Because you not send the seed over me. And I got me holes dipping them to put into the zip line them. To allow all that some material for Butterman does the jogging.
Wow.
Yes, so I learned this. Okay. So you have a good night. I'm never going to call back because I want Wilson Morris to do the farming good and the pig farm. And up by the army camp up there, they said nobody's up there supposed to got no pig and no sheep and stuff. So how are we going to get meat? And how are we going to get the other things them going? See you.
Okay. Got you loud and clear, my dear. Yes, we go back to the lines. We say call you live.
Good evening, Honorable. Now,
how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Now, Patches, I don't think we have a food problem in St. Kitts, right? When you used to work at Hosford and Dealey, Walwyn and them places, you know the amount of food what we used to ship out, starting from Statia all the way to the Virgin Islands and so on, right? But what happened is that the government get down on them because the farmers, them used to sell the dot also. So when the thing them reach down there, they're all dirty and so on, and they stop by from St. Kitts. But we don't have a food problem. We have a lot of land. We have a lot of farmers, but they're just not doing the right thing. So we don't have a food problem here. You understand me? We got plenty of breadfruit tree, and we got thing. Now let him just tell you about the amount of conchs and so on we used to ship out, and so on. And when they reach where they're going, they got marijuana in the bottom of the conchs. They stop the conchs them from coming in, and all them kind of thing. So I don't think we have no food security in St. Kitts. Now let me go back now to the pineapples. You could go to what the place their name, a supermarket. I ain't gonna give them no plug. A supermarket and buy a pineapple for $6 and $7. A whole pineapple. And a local pineapple, they want $5 and $6 per pound. You understand me? And this pineapple come all the way from South Africa. You know, you go in the market, the same farmers and them got the things more expensive in the supermarket. The farmers and them, you know, got the things more expensive in the supermarket. So people go back to the supermarket to buy. And that is the problem. But where we stand, we don't have no food security, no problem with food here. Now, I see my partner just now, we're talking about the sweet potato. The other day they were selling sweet potato for $6 a pound. And then after, what I call it, Good Friday come in, they can't get the sweet potato sell because they wanted $6 per pound. You know, so those are the things that are crippling the farmers and them. They need to know how to sell and work with people. They can't expect to get rich overnight. They can't expect to get rich. The government give them wire, they give them seeds, they give them all kind of things. Some taking the wire and selling it to other people. And all them kind of things. When the government give them these things to develop the farm. Because the agriculture ain't got the right people to go on and check when they give a man 4 roll of wire and see how much roll he use. Those are the problem in St. Kitts. It's that we don't need nothing else more. You understand me? Where you going to sell the thing then when you plant so much? They're rotting on them. You come down the market and see what goes on in the market on Saturday. One day, people go to the market. And you see the people them coming back out of there with all the food and things, heading back for the buses and the trucks and them kind of thing. Because nobody coming down there to buy. You understand me? They're going to the supermarket where it's cheaper. So we create these problems on ourselves. You understand me? Now let's go now to the pork section. You want to know about the pork, right? Now, they let the pork stay oil and hard. When you're getting pork out of Argentina and all of them places for less than $3 a pound. You understand me? And in the market, you're getting it for 7 and up. And when you reach home, you can't cook it. You could pull it like a bulldozer. You understand? And the same thing with some of the cattle. Now, when you go over to Nevis, you could get bacon, you could get ham, make it Nevis, you know. You could get cow head, tank boneless cow head, and all them kind of things. Nevis well in shape with the things. You get a pound of onion in Nevis for $1. The most it will be is $1.25. In St. Kitts, the cheapest pound of onion is 3 and change. The same thing with the tomatoes. In Nevis, tomatoes is about $2.50. In St. Kitts, they want $4 and $5 a pound for tomatoes. Cabbage, value market cabbage for $1.49. In the packet is $4 and $3 a pound. You understand me? So that these people buy these things on the shelf. They're buying the problem on the shelf. And then what they want to do? Blame government? It's always taking up money and give them and give them and give them. For farming, and then doing nothing with the money. And you know that too, Patches. You know that. You understand me? You know what's going on. You know, you ain't a stranger, you know. You're the street man. You're the street minister. You understand me? So you're a stranger. I want to make a comment now. I was listening to a radio station where Dr. DuPont was on. He was saying today to the people and them that me and he went and have lunch. Me and DuPont had no conversation. Me and DuPont went nowhere to have no lunch. If DuPont want to please me, let he apologize to all the ministers and them in the Unity Party. From the Prime Minister come right down. You understand me? Otherwise, he can't call me to go nowhere with him. Because I don't want nothing from him. You understand me? So, that's it. So, don't let go on the radio and telling people, man, he went for lunch today. He's my friend. But the things what he was saying and doing, and the right people, he don't attack. Why you don't go and attack Denzel Douglas and Dwyer Ascafan, who went over to Nevis to mash up the Unity Party? When they say the works, them never coming in Owen Kean. He got 3 people, 3 of his friends, on a certain radio station, abusing the Prime Minister and the cabinet every day. Why he don't attack them? Because he defend them? No, but I'm not his friend. Okay? When he apologized to them, he could go back and talk as we used to carry on and good. I don't have nothing against Liburd. I'm sorry, Dr. Liburd. The only difference between me and Dr. Liburd, I was born in St. Kitts.
Yes.
He was born in the island of Sandy Point.
Okay.
Okay, that's the only problem.
I think you said enough. Yes. I got you, my brother.
Okay, good night, Patches.
I allowed you. Good night, my brother. I allowed you to digress, but that's what straight talk is all about, no doubt. You had to give vent to your feelings. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
That is.
Caller, you're live.
How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I can tell you something here.
Oh, that's the Bible man.
That's the Bible man.
Yes.
I've been listening to a man from America. He believe he got the most stock. But the man listen up, hail the CIA. No, CIA, let them know. And I am saying this. Everything is going to happen one of these days. He have to bow down to the same Jesus who now live up. And when God tell him, depart from you, I know you not. People must stop coming away and live up. I done that if it the only man right now is Jesus Christ. The word of God said the law was given by Moses, grace and truth was given by Jesus Christ. And every time I hear him, I look at the radio. And I am saying tonight, people must stop, make themselves a puppy show. Jesus Christ is the only Savior of the world. And I'm saying this, that people are bringing them, when they come to the popular show and start to big up them kind of thing there, it is terrible, Mr. Patrick. Because one of these days, he and have to give an account to God for it. And I'm saying to you, it is true, yes, it's true. But listen here, God, look at, the word of God says, the heart are deceitful and desolated, wicked. Who can know it but God? And I'm saying, Mr. Patrick, enjoy yourself in God. Give God your all. Because the Bible says, many shall come in my name and say, Lord, Lord. And he shall say, I know not. But we are in the last and closing days. If you want to believe that, read Deuteronomy chapter 28 and it's it. So, Mr. Patrick, I am saying to you, when you look after God, God look after you. God will send ravens to feed Elijah. You understand what I tell you? So God look after his children them. And you know, you see where God put you. You can come back over Patrick. I'm looking out for you. Have a pleasant night.
Have a pleasant night as well, Bible man. It's now 22 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. We go straight back to the lines. Call you live.
Yeah. Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Hello? Yeah. Good night, Mr. Liver. How are you doing?
I am peaceful. Is that my warrior from the east?
Yeah, I'm good. Just checking in. Just checking in.
Good to hear you.
Yes. Yes, good to hear you too. Anyway, I don't know what your topic is about, but I need people to stop coming on the radio and judging people, okay? Brother John James, you do not judge people. Let God do his judgment, okay? The Bible says not everyone who said, Lord, 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 is going to see his face. So if this gentleman praising his Selassie or whoever he wants to praise, that's his priority. You don't come on the radio and disgrace nobody. That's not what the program is about, Brother John James, okay? So you stop that. If you know God and you know who God is, right? So you don't judge the gentleman for who he wants to be. He serves who he wants to be. Because not all of us who say, Lord, Lord, is going to see his face. Let's keep the program clean with the topic that are going. We not need to lash on nobody and what they believe and what they don't believe in. Okay? Anyway, Mr. Liburd, I love you. God bless you. God bless the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, Prime Minister, Miss Lewis in St. Thomas, Patricia Lewis elected to keep up the good work. And to all the task force for the corona, I've said God bless them because I don't know if you all hear the news what's happening in Anguilla. So anyways, you all take care. God bless each and every one in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Love you all dearly. Bye.
Love you more, my dear. Patsy from Roxbow Street in Newtown, my East Basse warrior, a warrior from the East. I go straight back to the lines, call you live.
Hi, good night, how are you?
Good night, my dear. How art thou?
I go read the rocks hotel. And sometime afternoon time, Saturday especially, they're going back with the things them. They not even must hear them drop them. So if the Prime Minister they want to blame, let it start again. And some other station there at base the Prime Minister, he has done well and he's doing well. And they must come after him. See you, and I'm not to say.
Okay, my Straight Dog family, we're still looking at food security. What do you think? Is it that the farmers are pricing themselves out of the market? Why is it we're not becoming self-sufficient? One farmer had this to say.
Farmers have cabbage, they can't get them sold. Why? Because arrangements have not been made by the farmer themselves or even assistance from the ministry as to how you're going to get them sold. So the business part of agriculture in St. Kitts is quite lacking. And I have been trying to get a lot of the farmers to look at the business side of the farming. You can't just produce and think they're going to sell themselves. You have to organize yourself and get your market for your products. Whatever you have to do, you'll get it. Because my thing is, whatever I produce, I don't want it to go to waste. It has to be sold. It has to reach the table.
So yes, my Straight Dog family, what went wrong that has caused us to import everything we need to eat? Let's go back to the lines. I'll call you live. Hello, caller?
Yes, yes. Yes, thank you.
You got any equipment on your radio?
First of all, I would like to share some salesman tactic to all the farmers. You know, first of all, the farmers got to really communicate, get together. It doesn't matter who produce what, okay? They have to have a strategy because every farmer wants to get their stuff sell. But how it can be sold, you have to have a plan, okay? You have to have a marketing strategy to sell your food. The key thing is, all who farm, there should be a list of farmers. All who produce for sale, they should have their product listed. Pull all your food together, your production, and have a sales manager to advertise and organize. Okay? Everyone looking for $1 million, but everyone cannot get $1 million. If one person produce pepper, another person produce onions, everyone just got to put their production together, have a depot where all their food goes, they document how much they bring in, and organize, because when an individual farmer go and sell their own stuff, they ain't going to make nothing much. And just like the lady said, they will be going back home with stuff. Produce them, take them at the depot, have someone else in charge, and you collect. You could collect a salary. You could collect a salary based on the sale of the grand production that is there, and proper storage. So they just got to organize. They are disorganized. If they need a lesson in getting their food sold, come to New York where I know and look at the Koreans. Look at the Koreans, how they sell. The Koreans don't grow nothing. They buy and they sell. And people buy. Come to the concrete jungle and you see how organization of food or someone, you know, I am just amazed to see how they are organized down there. They have to have a strategy and they have to have sales training. You can't just produce your food, put them on the side, and expect to get $1 million. The prices is a problem. They got to be organized. Food control. Thank you.
Thank you very much. One would agree with you that you just can't plant and expect people to come and buy. You have to market yourself as well. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
Yeah, Patches. I born in the 60s. Patches, is there? Yeah, I born in the 60s, right?
You're live.
Politics again, yeah. I born in the 60s. And I know coming up in the 60s, that, I mean, in the 70s, in the late 70s, when I was a young boy coming up, going to school, each and every, almost each and every person in the village had a ground, had a farm. And you know the reason why we used to get a pig? They got to rear pigs because when the sweet potato, the pumpkin, them, get sunburn, they ain't good or whatever, and they come good. We dig them and we give the pig, and sometimes maybe dig the sweet potato, we give the pig the picking, and sometimes even give the goat and sheep the sweet potato do it too. So most grown farmers used to go farm because of that. They ain't had it because we all live off, but most of these pig farmers now, they got it as a business. You understand? I believe that more people rearing pig now. And before, because you find one man with 300 and something piglets, you find some people with 500 and something, or you know a good friend of mine, he pick farm over Canary, and he take me over there, and he was a teacher, and he had a farm, and because when the government went in, they built a lot of this farm with the concrete that you could wash down the dung and so, when the pig mess, and thing was going good. But after a while, the supermarket, them started to kill them. What do I mean kill them? Like, bring in the pork when they got cheaper return them, and they can't get the pork sell. And that was the problem. I believe now the farmers were supposed to work out with the supermarket them now that when they got piglets to sell, they let the supermarket them order maybe a limited amount, bring in a limited amount of pork, and that they could get the pork sell. Because parties may tell the plain, I let the local pork better, the local pig put everything better. When you eat the local pig food, you could support the marrow. The imported pig food, they don't have no marrow, no? And the bull food, they don't have no marrow, you're going to them. You understand? So, this is the healthy part of it. That the local thing is the healthy part of it, Patches. And Patches, I just want to say to my villager in New York, she named Janet. Janet, good night. I make you understand you is one of my big listener, one of my big fan. Politics here, man. You have a wonderful night. May God bless Janet. You and your family. All right. Patches.
Okay, my dear brother. And you can't lose sight of the fact, though, that global trade has been liberalized. Right? And there's so many organizations, the World Trade Organization, the African, Caribbean, and Pacific Economic Partnership that negotiate with the European Union, and there's a whole gamut of trade agreements, and this has broken down all the barriers to trade. Someone mentioned earlier about Robert Bradshaw, I think it was my good friend Nabu, right? But in the 70s, you had the days when you had to get import licenses. You do have to get them now for reasons, right? But you can't really ban certain items, food items, and so on, just for banning them sake or for protecting your own trade. Unless you find ways to do that, that's a fear. But it's all about trade equity that's coming, and how you deal with it, it's another question. But in terms of your cost of production, at times you have to measure your cost of production and establish why would some, as Brock said, pineapple come from all the way in South Africa and be cheaper than that's produced in St. Kitts, if that is correct. But these are some of the issues the farmers themselves have to address. The issue of pigs, the pig industry, was addressed by a farmer himself. And this is what the farmer said about the pig industry and the pork.
I'm quite concerned about the pig industry. Some time ago, we had a thriving pig industry. Most of you would know that any barbecue pit you go by, you get a lot of pork and so on there. And in the market, the pork was quite presentable from the abattoir, the government abattoir. And when I used to teach, I always carried my students, my fifth form students, to the abattoir to see what they were doing. And in a week, when they butchered 10 cattle, they would be butchering over 200, 300 pigs. Today, I don't think that is the numbers now, because some of the pig farmers are gone out of business because of some of the things on the market. Cheaper pork come on the market, and so farmers can't compete.
Cheaper pork on the market, and farmers can't compete. Is that a barrier to our own food security? How can we move to producing more food if these are some of the barriers? Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Patrick. What one day when you ain't have nothing heavy to do up in the UN, let the driver take you down to Hunts Point Market, and you see how they operate down there. You understand me? As the man just now tell you, the Chinese man don't grow nothing, but they set up themselves down in Hunts Point Market, and if they're ordering tomatoes, the other one order guavas is guava, and he sells to the different sources. Apple, the same thing. That is the way how you see they operate up there. So that is what the gentleman was trying to tell you. So you go down to Hunts Point Market and you see how they operate, and then you could come back and tell your audience here what you see and what you discover up there. Okay? So God bless you. You have a good night.
Have a good night, my dear brother. Thanks for the homework. We'll go straight back. But that's a good suggestion. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
Yes, that is. Me again. That man when you play the tape, the abattoir, he should be the Minister of Agriculture up there. Because I know him, he used to come on my children father farm, and he learned a lot from my children father. So, I have to point up upon my tree, coming up good. You.
Pineapple to grow on trees?
I have to point up upon my tree.
Interested. Let's go back to the lines. Caller. Have you ever seen the pineapple tree? Your live caller.
Yes, Patches, and that gentleman who just second the motion of my suggestion about the way the Koreans and the Chinese sell their stuff. Yes, I would like to be that one to take it to Hunts Point. And you will see, they don't grow nothing. They buy and they organize. And they do good business because they are very well organized. Okay? And as a farmer, if they don't know how to organize in Senkis, there should be a program that give them the marketing part. Visit other parts of the world that is easily accessible. And they will see. When they go home, there will be a different way, a strategy, how to market their product and be competitive. Okay? So, apart from producing, which is good, they need marketing strategy. Okay? They got to be salesman. I am a salesman. I sell cars. I don't even do that no more. But I had my lesson, and I can sell any car. But I don't choose to deal with that industry anymore. I'm into something else. But I am a salesman. I could teach sales. And it doesn't matter what it is. But these farmers in St. Kitts, I give kudos to every one of them because they have the soil, they're producing, but they don't have the marketing strategy to be successful. So, I would like a program that could develop, that they could get a lesson, a course in sales, and they will become good salesmen. Thank you again.
Okay. Thanks for your intervention. Very sound intervention. You have to learn to market your products and to even have them displayed in a particular way that's enticing to the buyer. Caller, you live.
Good night, Patrice. My name is Dumpling. How are you tonight?
I am peaceful. Turn your radio or your equipment down.
It's downstairs and I'm ready to go downstairs.
Downstairs? I want the whole world to hear you.
Patrice?
Lady of Manners Dumpling. Yes.
Patrice, where you go?
I am peaceful. God's been good to me. What about you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. In the name of the Lord.
How is church?
Church is good. Church is good. You should have heard for the Easter. To hear him go flying out the Moravian roof.
Okay.
You never want to see him, boy. Flying out the roof.
Okay.
Yeah,
trumpet.
Yeah. Anyway, Patrick, the government is doing good. No matter where people is staying, they're doing wonderful. All I want the people them to do, they're forcing them to take the vaccine. But then no, and Patrick, you know, when we were small, we used to go for the vaccine. And the big talk used to be in it. But about this politics with the vaccine, like is the Prime Minister make the vaccine over tabernacle and bring it and issue it out to all the different health centers and hospitals. They must done with that. They put in politics with the vaccine. You don't want it, you don't want it. Stop saying about this tower and ain't good and all kind of thing because touching me, I don't know what it means, I couldn't even lift it up. And I said, you know, push it in the right hand. Patrick, thank God, I could put the right hand. You understand? So the vaccine, look out one, the pain. I don't want to them, man, if the virus of India, why gone? You understand? And next thing again, some of them turn hands, they just sell the things to you. The other day they had potato. Right down the terminal where others be. Selling a pound of potato for $8. Pound of potato for $8. I don't know what they're doing these things for. You understand? And when you talk, I don't like the Guyanese, them, you know. But I like some of them. Them they used to come long time. Not the coolie, some of the coolie. The two real bin. They're selling green pig. You go on a tree up the boat, pick green pig for $7 a pound. Is them making people think that things they ain't in town. You go in New Rams and then again the things them cheap. That's why I like to go Rams. And I just support the rest of your Jesus and boy me. Coolie, deal. I support she and she husband because they just sell cheap. And Roland. I buy from Roland. And two men from Lada, Tabernacle, wherever they live. Just by the side of the market. You understand? But the rest of them, they're too expensive patches. Patches, hurry up from home. People miss you. You understand?
I miss you too, my dear. Yes.
This is Dumpling. Mr. PM, where will you be? Sleep. God with you. Say your prayers. Everybody love you. Labor, no, I love you. Don't study them. See you. Bye. This is Dumpling Patches. Oh, Patches, I want to pick up my sister in England. She's listening you online. Tomorrow is her birthday. Lucinda Manuel. And I want to pick up my granddaughter, Chevenel Hodge. Tomorrow is their day. Well, God spare their life. Enjoy your birthday wherever you are in Miami and London, England. This is your sister Dumpling wishing you happy birthday to the two of y'all coming from all the Manuel family. See you, Patches. Love you. See you. Hurry up from home.
Love you more, Dumpling. And Lucinda, if you're listening, happy birthday when it comes tomorrow. So to Chevenel and all who will be celebrating birthdays tomorrow. We go back to the line. Call you live. It's 60 before 9. Hello, caller.
Mr. Patches.
Yes, caller. Yes, sir. Yes, Bible man.
I want to tell you something, right?
My friend.
I give my life to the Lord since about 1974. Now, well, and I tell Mr. Very up and down, you know, I really, but I know who God is. That my Bible told me, you shall know them by the fruit. And if the lady come on from the station, come attack me. That is she. And she and I won't walk over that, not me. And so, the fact is, the food security, people, I hear about the food security, but listen, I've been hearing people say, is a togetherness and all those things. But Mr. Patrick, the Bible read, I want John talk about the Antichrist now. And, well, I want to tell you the last days, perilous time shall come. Man shall be low of their own self. They shall go to be boastful. Mr. Yakon I was here, and the next radio station, Rock must only come on from the station, you know. And that man who will got the rock will told off, that because I disabled man, when I come on from the radio, Frank and Sandy, and tell them, where was she? Where was she? The man that degrade people, where was the lady? You see, when you talk the truth of the thing, people get offended. Mr. Patrick, I stand for the word of God, and you shall know them by the fruit. So see you, Mr. Patrick. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. The Bible, as I said earlier, speaks as well about food security, it promotes food security. In John, right, chapter 6, verse 35, Jesus declared, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. That to me is promotion of food security. My Straight Talk family, it's 12 before the 10 o'clock hour. I go straight back to lines. Let's try to take as many calls as possible. I seem to have missed that call, but I'll say less and entertain as many calls as possible. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
Good night, Patrick.
My brother Jam Down, good night. How are you?
How are you? When you go to this Janet funeral, you must have prayer for all the unity comrades. God bless you. May you rest in peace. Patrick, you know, I asked you to build 2 West Room down on the port. And
It looks like some people don't want to tourist industry when we get over this thing working, and I'm telling them they gotta walk, and I'm warning the police them, to put somebody, some kind of, either the young squad, police them, somebody down there by the alley. Because they're pissing down there, got to stop. It has to stop. We cannot run in a port like that if visitors coming down there, spending big money, and you got a pissy alley like Avondale Alley. You remember Avondale Alley, Patches? You know when you used to go on down up Avondale Alley, to the back of TDC lumberyard there, We don't want that down in the port. The whole alley, these young people, they're going to class. No, they're going to class at all. These young people, they're going to class. They're going out in the port and destroying, we're bringing the biggest income to the country. And nobody, one of them sent me down there because I'm telling them, you can't piss here. Where you thinking? Where you thinking? This is the tourist belt. You're right in the tourist belt. Where you want to piss there? And all the bathrooms them available to all, you know. I want to thank the chairman. I want to thank the chairman and the board of UBC to add in some hearings to make the bathroom them available. Otherwise, if people, these young men ain't going to respect themselves down in the port, that one got to done with. That function down there got to done with. They can't go in the people from the people stores and peeing and feeling away. Attacking all them from here and they foreigners. We don't go places too. As long as they come to this country and they fall in line, they have all right to do anything here. As long as they're obeying the law. And we ain't gonna tolerate where somebody, but then the other night, a young man, he must be did well in school and his parents buy him a chain. I see the chain down there, pull where the chain run to the alley and run over in the food court, there ain't no police over there. But the police, they must make themselves available and don't play with them kind of thing. Carry them up the station. When a man come to you and they tell you, you talk to them and anything down there in the night at Friday time. And the port, go to them and ask them the name. Because the police, refuse to ever talk to the man, when he threaten me, But I will get his name and deal with it. But then, I want to let this country know, that no government will run this country without a unity government. And I gone. Have a good night. See you when I see you.
Have a good night, my dear brother Jam Down. Always passionate, always assertive. The local food should be more expensive because they are grown in volcanic soil. Supermarket food is full of chemicals, killing us. That's the view of one of my Facebook massive. Imagine that. Very interesting perspective. My trading family. And I'm saying hi to my Facebook massive, those on YouTube as well. In event to join me late tonight, just getting the tail end of the program. We looked at food security tonight, but I'll take a few more calls before we wind down tonight's program and call you live.
Good night, Patches Merton. Patches, let them on top of the Facebook to know that Rams and them just buy food from the local people. They're buying the foreign food. Only sometimes when they can't get no potato, they bring some potato in the supermarket. But Rams sell all local food. Farmers, that's for India, to call some of them names. One the Prime Minister brother is one to sell local food in Rams. So let us take off that off of Facebook. You, Dumpling again.
Okay, Dumpling, thanks for that clarification. Yeah, they do sell local fish as well. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
Yeah, Patches, yeah. I want to support Dumpling with that too. They buy local food, they buy local fish. I see it for myself. A lot of local farmers from over the country, just come park up the vehicle and head in. And I believe the Chinese should do likewise. Because I myself went to the Chinese, them go make some order for some sweet potatoes. But you see, they want to earn the money, they tell you about sweet potato $2 and all that kind of thing. Now they're going to buy your sweet potato $2 and maybe $1 or $2.50 and sell it to $5 a pound. So you don't make nothing yourself. You got to pay people to work in your ground. And I think you're unfair. It's supposed to be equal. And I just want to just big up the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. You are doing the right thing. And the right thing is not right now because we're not in a crisis. And we have a a God-sent Prime Minister here for this Federation. And I hear people talk about 2025 and all these things. But with what's going on in the world right now, we don't want him sure 2025. We're going to meet up 2025. So we unity again got 4 years in government and let this 4 years rain out. And we the people in this country say unity. And who don't want unity? It's only one where we're going. It's only one where this country going. And we're going with a new government, a new party. A new party will come and run. And I know that Mr. Politics will be around till to 2025. Because I'm more good. I could talk to convince. You understand? And it's only where we're going. And if anything, they want unity, we in the new party going to take all 8 seats. And this country going to run under the new administration. Yeah, Patrick, was saying something?
Mr. Politics.
Yes.
Yes. What's the new party going to name?
Eh?
What's the name of the new party?
But is in the party down there? The new party don't have 2 terms in government.
Okay.
The new party don't have going for a 2nd term in government. Party. The new party down there. And this is reality.
Okay.
And and if anything, if they want unity, I say that's the best way to go. The people of this country go. You understand? Because we were saying all the time they want PAM, they don't want Labour, they want on your party. Well, since on your party and the black now. So if they want unity, it's only one way this country got to go. Patrick, you have a wonderful night. God bless the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Dumpling, good night. Good night, Alice.
Thank you.
And good night, Brother Culture.
Okay, that's something we'll have to discuss on some other program. That's a very interesting perspective, my straight dog family. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live. We'll talk about the new party and some other program. You're live, caller.
Hey, Patrick.
So?
Yeah, man. I always listen to this program here, right? Every Monday and Thursday. And where I find that, like, this program here is immune to just a few callers. It's the same people calling in every Monday and every Thursday. And they don't even stick to the topic. What kind of program this here be? It becoming the man? Sometimes I want to turn off the radio or hearing Mr. Politics don't call him about 3 times. Dumpling don't call him about 3 times. Now other people want to call him too. Look what I give when the show going done. And I got so much things to talk about. So that is when these men don't call once and call twice. Now let them call a 3rd time to let somebody else gain, man. Free up the line, let somebody else gain. Alice in Wonderland just call in and laugh. Tying up the line. So Patches, work on the show, man. Work on the show. It's a good show, but work on it for me with the callers then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, my brother. I can say to you, We don't have a caller ID in the studio, and I take your point. I do take your point, my dear brother. And we, in fact, at one stage limited or had a maximum of 2 calls per person. But how they come in that fast and others can't get in is really beyond me. But let's take a few more calls before we wrap. Is there a call online? I'll call you live.
You know them when they call in. I just pay me one phone bill for you.
Well, that sounds like Alice in Wonderland, causing to laugh. Well, that's what Straight Talk is all about. How she gets in.
But Patrice, what is the gentleman problem? I call him when it's minutes to 10. He said he had a lot of issues. But why he never express himself until you reach them to 10 o'clock then? Call! I pay me money to call Patrice. I just want to labor people want to toy upon yourself more dumpling and politics and when I had not to damn well said to you, Patrice.
Okay. Let's apply the Mark Twain theory. You know, never argue. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live. Hello, caller.
Patrice, you know who they be, you know. I mean, the guy calling. So what you gonna say, no? In the open forum, so what you gonna say? I ain't gonna stop people and talk, man. We born here, this country is we won. Who are you want calling to talk? This is we country. You get in. Here he's telling you, you know. He can't get in, but you get in. People paying the money. As long as they're bashing nobody and they defaming nobody, people got the right to talk. Patrice, I want you to think it's young people them now. Boy, I watch some young people walk down 4th Street today. Obesity is a big thing in Sinkers. Find it, come and cross here by South Independence Square and eat healthy. The guy is cooking good food and making good patties and good local drinks. Eat healthy, Sinkers. That's what we want between Sinkers and Nevis. Eat healthy. That's why a man like me and politics and others who come in the energy and talk because we eat healthy. That is have a good night. God bless you and the Prime Minister and the Unity Contraction.
God bless you as well. My dear brother, we go back to the lines. Caller, you live.
Patrice, good night, and you're going down now. Don't see them, Miss Alex, laugh at them. Good night, Patrice. Laugh at the labor dog, them.
Okay, let's go back to the lines. I'll take 2 more calls. I'll make this my penultimate call. Call you live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Caller, you live. Okay. Here's what. I'll take 1 more call. 1 more call for the night. Then we wrap. If we don't have a call, we'll wrap because the mayor of St. Paul's is in the studio and he comes up next. So don't you move your dial. Let's take this and make this my final call for tonight. Call you live.
Patrice, the same thing I just tell you about. So, with the caller there. I only say something.
Caller, you have a contribution to make? Caller, please.
I only call in.
Wait.
Say something.
Wait, caller.
That publisher show, man.
But if it's a publisher show, don't call in and don't listen. Lock your dial off.
Locked off. You can't tell me what to do in the radio.
So you can't tell me what to call it? Wow. You know, we're not going to argue my Straight Dog family because I've learned about Mark Twain, so I'll not go there. But as we wrap, I'll make that my final call. And what a wonderful way to end. Instead of making your own contribution you are talking about people who made their contribution. But the region is very heavily dependent upon food imports to meet its food needs. I thought you'd make a contribution on that. Because in an article in the Jamaica Observer, under the caption, "Importing Food is Damaging the Caribbean," and Ron Sanders wrote this under that caption, "My Straight Dog Family." He said, "It is shameful that golden opportunities to produce more food in the Caribbean and my Straight Dog Family to reduce the significantly reduce, I should say, the astronomically high annual food bill of $4.7 billion are being woefully neglected. If this misguided trend continues, the economies of many of the countries of the region will be increasingly imperiled. That should be. And even in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have a total export of some just over $33 million. That's US dollars. And total imports of $309 million. That leaves us, or leads to, a negative trade balance of some $276 million US dollars. Multiply that by 3, that's almost $7.8 billion, 180 million EC dollars, I should say, by Straight Dog Family. But this trade imbalance is partly offset in St. Kitts and Nevis by tourism and other service revenues. But most troubling is the large foods import bill, which is due to food in subs imported for the tourism sector, but which also suggests that the islands are dependent on imports for basic nutritional requirements. Food security in the Caribbean, my Straight Dog Family, requires revitalization of sustainable local food production systems. And you know, I said the Caribbean, well, that includes St. Kitts and Nevis. The issue of food, or the lack thereof, has been magnified by the COVID-19 pandemic. And we know that the Team Unity government continues to make substantial investment in the agriculture and fisheries sector. But how do we address these risks? At the CARICOM level, we have expanded the categories of skilled workers to include agricultural workers that can move throughout the Caribbean freely under the CSME arrangement by Straight Dog Family. Locally, we have introduced social protection programs in St. Kitts and Nevis. But I heard your views about becoming self-sufficient in the food we eat in St. Kitts and Nevis. And one said that's just wishful thinking. How can we produce more food? All the lands are lying idle around the country, my Straight Dog Family. Farmers, we understand from you, are pricing themselves out the market. Our pork production has seemingly gone extinct. There's a problem with water. How can we export? These are the issues that we discussed tonight, and you've raised your views. We've heard your voices, even though you're called in 2 and 3 times. Yes, that sometimes happens on Straight Talk. No matter what one would say, they're entitled to their view. That's what Straight Talk is all about. But Straight Talk has one host, and that's me. And when you're fed up, my Straight Talk Family, you will turn all your readers off, and I won't be here. So Straight Talk will be gone. But Straight Talk has existed for nigh 10 years. And we have our way of doing things. and our way is your way. So I thank God for guiding us tonight, and as always, I thank you, the many callers who have called in tonight. We've had some 3 times, or one caller called in 3 times. That's how it went tonight. But that's what Straight Talk is all about sometimes. Those who are on Facebook, on YouTube, on social media platforms, whatever platform, and those, of course, on ZIZ Radio, the national station. Just remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and I say thank you. Until we connect on Monday, God's willing, have yourself a wonderful weekend. Be good to all whom you meet. Go to church. Say a prayer for me, and I'll say a prayer for you. But remember, my Straight Talk family, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you gotta believe. I want to thank our technical staff, Theo Clark, who is coming up next. Bevan Wilkinson and John James in the boiler room. Without them, there's no Straight Talk as well. I just said thank you. So remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you just gotta believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank you for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk. Be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. Bye-bye.
In the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food